Hi YouTube, welcome to this first episode of Dog Sense, a new series of dog training videos that we will be putting together in addition to our regular content. And today's topic is clickers. What are they? How do they work? And do you really need to use one? So let's dive right in. A clicker is a small plastic device that makes a clicking sound. They come in a number of different styles. You've probably seen them in my videos. And clickers are part of a system of communication that we use to positively reinforce an animal's behavior. The dog comes to understand the click as a signal that positive reinforcement is on its way, which means that that exact moment when a click occurs becomes very significant. It's like taking a picture at the perfect moment to capture something special. It's helpful to take a look at how clickers can help with training. Using a clicker can make your training much more efficient. You can accelerate the pace of learning. You can add a lot of precision to what you're trying to communicate to the dog. And this is because it clarifies communication. It takes away a lot of the noise from training. As human beings, we tend to be noisy. We use a lot of words, we gesture, we shuffle, and that can be confusing for a dog because they don't always know exactly what they should be paying attention to. That's a lot of information to process. So using a clicker gives us, the humans, something to focus on doing, and it makes it very clear for the dog to understand what exactly they are doing that has a consequence of them getting some reinforcement. Now, if you want to train well, you have to pay attention to timing. The difference that a second can make can completely change the behavior that you are capturing, what you are reinforcing versus what you think you are reinforcing. There's always going to be some human error. We can always click for the wrong thing. We can delay our click or click too soon, but it really does help you minimize the error that you can be making as a trainer. It is important to point out with using a clicker that there is a steep learning curve. It is a difficult skill to learn at first. You're learning the mechanics of holding the clicker in your hand along with your treats and any other training props that you might have on hand. You're paying attention to your behavior, your dog's behavior. So we're having to multitask, which can be difficult at first. And it will take a little bit of time for you and your dog to both become familiar and comfortable with using it. So do you really need it? The quick answer is no. You can train without it. Many people do, but you will need to use some kind of marker to signal to your dog the same idea. You can use a word like yes or good, but the benefit of the clicker is that it's a distinct sound that the dog is probably not going to hear in other contexts, which means that we can protect the value of what that sound means. Your dog is probably going to hear good and that was great a lot of the time without the consequence of getting a food reward or some kind of reinforcement that follows it. But a clicker is easier to protect because unless we're walking around all day just clicking here and there and not following that with any reinforcement, it will continue to maintain what it means for the dog. So clickers are not essential, but for most beginners and intermediate dog training enthusiasts, I highly recommend using one. It is an indispensable tool that will help you to refine your skills, which will pay off later down the road, whether or not you decide to continue using one. So I would recommend that if you're new to clicker training, to try teaching your dog at least 5 different behaviors using one. And you will notice how much more fun and effective just a quick 5-minute training session really can be. So let's take a look at some behaviors that you can teach your dog using a clicker. Thanks again for watching this first episode of DogSense. If you used a clicker before or you have some thoughts to share about it, please leave it in the comments below. If you'd like to support our work on YouTube, consider joining our Patreon. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.